Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor Hamza. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for, if you're an American, thank you for all the vets for Memorial Day. Thank you for your service, rather, on we're celebrating Memorial Day today. And I just thought I'd do a video, and I'm wearing my American flag do-rag. So God bless America. So, and if you're watching this from another country, God bless your country too, you know. So let's get right into it. We're going to cover maybe some interesting topics for you. And then I'll end with something that's kind of unique and different. So here we go. So maybe I'm going to put this, I think, as a title after the word Mandela effect, so you can search it. New continent found, lost ancient continent of Zealandia. Whoa, Zealandia. Where'd that happen from? If you watch some of my other videos, I had what was it called? Oceania. I think that was the name. I'll have to go watch my own video. But unless I deleted it. Sometimes if my videos really bug me out, I'll just end up deleting them. But this one's Zealandia. So a team of 32 scientists from 12 countries have arrived in Hobart on a research vessel. And I'm just going to read right from an article. I'm not going to cite them too much. I'm just going to show you a couple quick pictures. University of Tasmania, 16 universities along with Cistro, Geoscientists Australia. Anyway, so they found this near Newcastle, and basically in between, but Zealandia is all over large. It's a whole continent. So I mean, I'll show you a number of pictures so you could see. So a new continent just popped up and they never knew about before. So it was called Zealandia. Oceania was another new continent that they just found, that I talked about in one of my videos. I think that was about 4 months ago. So now we have another new continent, and they're not, maybe that one disappeared and this one took its place. It was in a different part of, it's down near Australia, but it was, what they were saying before is, if you, I want to find a good map, but basically Australia and you know, they're talking about Zealandia there, but what they were saying is Oceania was this whole area was the continent. Now that, if we say the word storyline, now that storyline has changed, now that multiverse has changed, and now we just have Zealandia. So Zealandia is there, and a lot of these maps are totally, if you look at them, totally different. So you could say maybe this one's just gelling into our timeline. Maybe this is just, I mean, what am I supposed to say? It's not a big deal. It's just a new continent that, yeah, they find continents every day, don't they? Right? Not a big deal? I think it's a big deal. Zealandia. So it's an underwater continent that they're going to supposedly find a lot of new stuff that we're there with. So I'll show you some more videos. Pictures, rather. Excuse me, not videos. Zealandia. So here's a good, and for some of my other Mandela affected friends, I still can't get over this shape here and this shape and why this is not over there, or rather, I'm doing this upside down and backwards for me. But why is that there? And so now there's Zealandia, you know, over here. So who knows? And then Oceania it was like a basin. So they're saying that would be the continent of it, is that area covering all the islands you know, we're all together. They were talking about that being, but now that all has disappeared, and now we're talking about Zealandia, New Caledonia, which I don't really recall New Caledonia, to be honest with you. Doesn't really ring a bell. So this is all 94% underwater area, 5 million square kilometers is New Zealandia. So it's very, very strange. So there was some other things that, here's another video. Here's another picture. If this is old hat to you, please excuse the video. We're 5 minutes and 50 seconds into it, so I'm just going to go to the next subject. But Zealandia, it seems like the whole internet's now filled with this, all these pictures, right? Zealandia. So, what happened to Oceania? Let's look for that. Let me do this in real time for you. Ocean. See what happened. Oceania? No. Oceania. What happened to that? Where did that go to? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Oceania. Oceania. That was near Australia. That was basically Australia around there. I'm doing a search. Yeah, I can't really find that right now, which is pretty weird. Maybe I'll put something down in the comments section. Ocean, it was pretty cool. Oceania, am I saying? I'm trying to remember. I just did a video about that a couple of months ago. CA, sorry for the dead time. Oceania. Australia. Yeah. Okay, it's still existing here. Believe me, this stuff, it's like existing and it's different. Australia, officially the Commonwealth of Australia's sovereign country, comprising of mainland of the Australian continent, the island of Tasmania, and numerous smaller islands, is the largest country in Oceania and the world's 6th largest country in total landmass. So we still have Oceania. Oceania, which comprises this, which they said Oceania was they were calling it a whole new continent before. Oceania was the 8th continent. Based on geological definitions of a continent, the Earth actually has a lost 8th continent known as Zealandia. Okay, that wasn't here before, but when I talked about Oceania, and I was saying it wrong a second ago. Most of this continent is submerged beneath the sea, while only a tiny sliver, including New Zealand, is above the water. Earth has 8 continents, and world maps should reflect this, geologists say. So this is back in February 17, 2017, 1717. But where I didn't, I talk about that when I did my other video, I think it was 4 months ago, when I talked about Oceania as a new continent, and I never mentioned Zealandia. That never came up. So now they're all kind of, Zealandia is the whole thing, and Oceania kind of fell back a little bit. It's just this is totally weird, right? So anyway, welcome to another eighth continent, which is, they're saying here, it's saying Oceania is still correct as the eighth, but now they're calling it Zealandia, but it's not. It's a different, it looks to me a different area than Oceania. Oceania was, it seemed larger and is wider. This one seems narrower this way. And it comprised of all the different lands. Oceania, so totally weird, confusing in a way. So I normally don't get, is Oceania officially continent? Australia and Oceania is a continent made up of thousands of islands throughout the South Pacific Ocean. Oceania is a region made up of thousands of islands throughout the Central and South Pacific Ocean. It includes Australia, the smallest continent, in terms of total land area. Okay, so for those of you watching right now that don't understand what I talk about when I say Mandela effect, for me, Oceania never existed before I seemed to discover it, and I made a video about it right away. Now, Zealandia didn't exist for me before, and now Zealandia, and you could be an expert on Oceania, and you could be an expert on Zealandia, but for me, neither of these two things existed like 6 months ago. Those things, these things didn't exist. Now they definitely do exist. Why is Zealandia a continent and not an island? So they're saying that Australia and Oceania is a continent. So they're saying here Oceania is a continent, and then they're saying in a different area, it's like the same, but yet it's different. Zealandia is a continent. So which is it? Which one? Oceania is a continent. It's like we're seeing two negatives, and you're seeing, it's like two realities meshing together. And from the reality where I came from, neither existed. But first we had Oceania, which was, as I could show you a map of Oceania. Why don't we do that? Oceania, continent. Oceania, eighth continent, search, images. Let's talk about Oceania. And Oceania. So what is Oceania? So here's Oceania. So they're showing you Oceania. So this is this area, and if Australia's a continent, was Oceania. So they were saying that was they were deciding that was the new area that was Oceania, which was like a continent. So they were including all these islands and they were saying that all these islands together was a continent. That was the storyline. Now that's gone, and nobody's talking about Oceania, but we're talking about Zealandia. So if you're from Australia and you know all about this and this all makes great sense to you, feel free to comment. I'm in America and watching you down under closely. Love you guys. And very, very strange. And I'm digging these maps with little stars. They're like, yeah, these little stars here, like a constellation. Sure, Zealandia. Makes total sense, of course. Not. So anyway, so I'm looking up Oceania, and they're just showing me mostly pictures of Zealandia, but I'm getting a couple photos of Oceania, which was there before, but it's kind of fading out. So we're in the middle of, like, some kind of shift, I guess. Australia and Oceania. Here's another something still talking about Oceania. And I'm looking. I'm remembering Oceania. It popped in my head when I'm doing the video on Zealandia. I'm like, wait a second, I did another video about Oceania. I wasn't even pronouncing it right at the beginning. I had to think about it. And I'm Googling. I'm like, oh, wait, Oceania, of course. Oceania. What happened to Oceania? But that's, like, kind of gone. Now we have Zealandia, which is the new one. I mean, what are we going to have in a year from now? It's going to be Australiana, and then it's going to be, oh, there's a new continent they just discovered, and then Zealandia and Oceania are totally disappeared. So, and I have to comment on it to, keep my sanity. And for some of you commenting on the last video I did, I got a lot of comments on the one about mini avocados. People are trying to explain to me about what genetic selection is. I understand genetic selection, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those things did not exist for me. The only way to say it makes sense is in my timeline. Those things didn't exist for me before. Now all of a sudden they exist. The weirdest part was I Googled what would be the craziest thing that would happen with fruit. I don't know. And I said, how about a, mini avocado? And then mini avocados existed, which I know, they didn't exist. The weirdest part is, you go into a supermarket like a week later, and then they're sitting there, and you're like, I know I've never seen you before. And then you can't tell me that, oh, they just got popular. Come on. So I'm getting a lot of, by the way, it's the same kind of mode I was in. I Googled, I said, new monkey. I just typed it in. And I don't mean to make fun of anyone. But I was thinking about Michael Jackson during the day. And I was thinking about monkeys. And then I looked and I looked up and I said, new monkey. And this is the monkey, okay, that I'm getting some reflection there, but I don't mean to insult Michael Jackson. I mean, he's very talented, but does that look, am I crazy? Does that look a little like his later years, Michael Jackson? And it kind of like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this is definitely a monkey, is a Mandela effect. And it looks like, Michael Jackson, which is totally, bugging me out. And I'm like, and then I'm seeing this nose, and now there's no nostrils anymore for this creature. And then I watched another video from Once Upon a Timeline, and they're saying that in that video now people have these prosthetics, and they, like, if you have cancer, heaven forbid, you lift off, part of your nose or whatever, and it doesn't get infected. And now we have animals just around the same time I found out about that. I'll call it the Mandela effect on that one. Which now you have these nostrils that are totally exposed. It looks really weird. That with no nose at all on this monkey. And I went and saw a comic, and the comic was talking about Michael Jackson for 5 minutes during the day. And then this monkey manifested into my reality, which has no nostrils. And then the next morning I watched the video that explained that now people are existing with that and not getting infected with, with exposed things to, and I don't know if you could see what I'm seeing, but doesn't that look, and I'm trying not to insult them, please don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, with the white and everything, and it just looked like Michael Jackson as a monkey. And I don't know. Listen, I call them as I see them. And I just thought that kind of flipped me out. I'm getting a lot of more information, about the Mandela effect. And there's this there was this veil that, and it's spiritual, it's supernatural. There's this veil that protects us and protects everybody, and it's kind of lifting a little bit. So I'm getting more information about it. I don't feel comfortable talking about it until I think God says to talk about it. So I'm not saying I know everything about it, but I'm getting more information about it. I feel like, right, praying, and it's good. It's good to get, pierce that veil a little bit. But I'm not, I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it until, I get the sign from God saying, hey, it's okay to talk about that, what it is and what's going on. But I think we're going to have some kind of, we're going to have a breakthrough, and there's going to be more information, that I could release, or other people, soon. So maybe that's good news. I think it's good not to know at this point, and you have to trust in God and not let these things, bug you out, and just, definitely have faith and trust in God. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not stressed out about it anymore. I'm not worried about it. Just talking about it a little bit with you guys. And for the people who seem to comment are the ones, either somebody says, oh, good job, or most of the other comments, I don't want to say negative, but it seems like people are, not on board with the whole Mandela effect, and not on board with, with these kind of things, or maybe they have their own agenda, to keep people, they're afraid, and maybe there's some organization or government or whatever that's afraid of this and trying to keep a lid on it. And so they come on and they're saying yeah, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know. Come on, But for me, again, the whole, continents have changed. So something's going on. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Did I say don't worry about it? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything, I think. Anyway, so we have a new continent. Congratulations for having this newer continent, unlike the other new continent that we were talking about 4 months ago, Oceania. Now we have Zealandia, which is very exciting. Crack myself up. Congratulations. Let's have water here. Toast to Zealandia. It's underwater. 97% underwater, so my toast is apropos, as it were. And I'm thirsty. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Happy Memorial Day for those of you in the U.S. that celebrate, and those of you in the world that do. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Look for more information, soon. I think when God's ready to let me know, and I'm okay to pass it on to you guys, I'll tell you. But there are some, interesting things I think coming out about it, and I'm not worried. But we have to let these things happen in their own time. But I think, there's more things that'll come out. But in the meantime, I think it's okay to talk about these Mandela effects, and I don't think it's a negative thing, and I don't, the truth is the truth. So don't be afraid of the truth. Embrace the truth, and just, move with it, roll with the punches. And it's pretty cool, I think, at this point, to see these things. But Zealandia, I couldn't, I wasn't going to make a video for a while, and I was waiting for God to say, hey, make a video. And I was thinking about what should I make it on, video. And I just found out, right before I came on and did this video, Zealandia. So I gotta talk about that because I talked about Oceania continent, which was the eighth continent, and now we have Zealandia and Oceania. Anyway, thanks so much. Love you all. Like, subscribe, share. Have a great day. Peace out.